Okay, I'm making this video with my boys. There's Perry, who you can't see. Maybe I can see. He's just sitting in the middle of the street. Now the car comes, trying to get squashed. Come on, Perry. Pear. There he goes. I don't really have a point in making this video other than I had two separate people ask for it, which is a lot. He's up there in the woods. Actually, one of my most missed cats is buried there in those woods, or something. I don't know what you'd call it. He was hit by a car because the street is kind of nuts. And actually, it's one of the few times I've ever spoken to any of my neighbors ever, because I don't talk to my neighbors. I was looking for this cat who was so sweet. He was this long-haired gray cat. He was so pretty, and he was so sweet. Apparently somebody aimed for him. The neighbor that saw it happen said the car swerved to hit him. And I didn't know anything about it, and this person scooped him up and put him in those woods. And I didn't go and know about it until long after the fact. Sad. Maybe that's what the point of this video is, to make everybody sad. My three boys are here. Here comes Perry running like a nut. You would never know he has 3 feet instead of 4. And here comes another one. That's probably Percy. Yeah, that's Percy. That's the one who is stealthy and doesn't like to be seen. And I think he's actually my most beautiful cat. He looks like he has fish scales in his fur. Anyway, I'm not supposed to sort of differentiate them in that way. Say best and worst, right? But anyway. This is not what you probably wanted to hear, me talking about the cats, or however long it's been. 3 minutes? 1, 2, 3. Can you see them? You can see their eyes. That was freaky. The girls are inside and the boys are walking out with me. It is a little chilly. It's a nice spring day, but it's windy. I'm sure you can hear it. As of tomorrow, which is like 2 hours from now, my state is on official, total stay-at-home lockdown. That's going to be weird. And it was strange. I was on the 2-week absolute quarantine because of my illness. And then it was 1 day of normalcy. And then it went on, I don't know what exactly they called it, but it was non-essential workers or something like that. And apparently tomorrow is another level. And we've been told that police will stop you if you're driving. Which is like, oh my God. Which, now this is like a completely separate issue. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about it because it's a separate issue. And plus I kind of like the idea of surprises. Can you see them? My kitties? So how have I been doing? Well, I think I am totally fully recovered. Like, for example, I just tried to open something today, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, and I'm expecting, okay, I've got to put all my effort into turning this cap so it will open, and it, like, came right off. I was like, I really seriously thought, oh, did I already open this? Oh, hi, little kitty. This is the black one. That's not mine. How you doing? I guess you're not quarantined. Oh, there's a person up there. Hi, kitty. Haven't seen you for a while. Anyway, I've always had... They do testing. They do testing at, like, jobs and things. I don't know what the heck. But one of the testings they do is grip strength. They do it all the time, and I've always been off the charts, and I'm sure that's because I have a kid with autism. Now, that's not saying that I, like, would wrench his arm out or anything like that. But I definitely had to hold tight, and I could control it very well. So it would be an absolute, there's no way he was getting away, but it wasn't like pinching or tight around his wrist. But it was definitely more like, a handcuff type situation. So not being able to open jars was really weird. There she goes up that tree so fast. I say it's she. Not sure. Usually, even though it's a black cat at night, you kind of get a visual if it's a boy. And I haven't, after all this time, seen anything telling me it's a boy, so I'm thinking it's she. Anyway, again, not what you'd want to hear. What's up with these cats? They're being weird. Anyway, I really truly don't have a reason to be out here talking. So that's why I'm like talking about this random stuff. I wonder if the ghost would be out. That'd be good. But I really truly was asked twice to just talk about something. So I'm talking about random something. Yeah, that ghost thing is weird, by the way. In case people are thinking, do I really truly believe there is a ghost? No. No. It's probably some sort of animal that hasn't been there for a little while. Harry's back there. I think you can see him. But then again, who knows? Whatever. Do I think there's things here that we are not aware of yet? Damn straight. What is that animal? The Sawala? I have no idea if that's pronounced correctly. It's some sort of like antelope deer type thing that's in Vietnam and Laos. And periodically I check and see, have they actually had another sighting? There was some animal and it was terribly ill, and clearly there was something, it was dying, clearly, that was endangered. They thought it had been extinct, and it was just like walking through a city last week, and it was in India. And I kind of think that's awesome when they find animals like that. These super extinct animals that are super extinct. That's brilliant. These super rare animals that aren't actually extinct. Maybe I can relate to them. Oh, I just thought of that. That's kind of sick that they're hiding from people so well that nobody can find them. They're avoidant animals, so I think they're cool. But I do think it's amazing. They have apparently some kind of birds in Australia where Australia is a socialist country. So, people in the United States are like, oh yeah, they're going to turn us socialists. Huh. I mean, some of the law, I mean, Australia is supposed to be just like the US. It is not. You actually literally get a ticket if they find that you haven't locked your car. Now, I live in the country. When my son was growing up, before he learned how to handle keys, so a long time ago, in case y'all are trying to come to my house, not only would I not leave my car locked, I would always leave the key right in the ignition. So I'd be able to find it real quick if I had to leave. I wouldn't have to look for it. But in Australia, they have areas that are just, and of course this is a big, huge country with a lot of open space. They have areas where they're just like, this is absolutely off limits to all human beings because we have these super rare birds and we would like them to continue to be a species. Therefore, nobody's allowed to know where they are and nobody's allowed to go to the areas where they might be. That's kind of cool in a weird kind of way. Oh yeah. I hear the ghost. He called it. I usually don't hear it this far away. But it's really windy. Which means this is probably the wind. Did you hear that? Now, usually when I catch... See what I mean by it sounds like somebody's hanging and swinging on a branch? It is really windy. Seriously. Whenever I've caught this on video, the video dies. So probably this video is not going to be released. Which is one of the reasons why I'm like, maybe it's legit. Hi, ghost, if you're the ghost. Knock, knock, like knocking on the door. Okay, that's probably like making y'all think I'm an idiot. Because it is windy. But it's when it's making noise like that and there's no wind, I'm like wanting to stand here. Oh my God, can you see that? That's awesome. I guess I've got a place to go. One of the things I heard, and I'm really like, don't want to talk about it anymore. Even though I have already talked about it. Because I think it's fear-mongering. Whatever, okay? Here's for you people who want to do fear-mongering. Yes, this disease is really serious for people who have pre-existing conditions and lung issues and heart issues. Really bad. Guess what? It's very, survivable if you don't. So if you're taking care of yourself and you're healthy, and I'm not saying try to spread it, because nobody wants the guilt of knowing they killed somebody. So don't spread it, but don't worry. But one of the things that I've heard about, and it started in the south of the United States, was that people are getting Christmas lights on just to be cheerful, to, give somebody a bright something, considering we're in the middle of this nastiness. Well, this house up here is, I love it. I gotta say, I love it. I keep thinking I should move. I really keep thinking I should move. And then things like this remind me of why I'm living right where I'm living. Because could I recreate this? Probably not. Could I recreate being able to have, a river right up the street? Probably not. Could I recreate being able to have a hike in the woods anytime I want? Because it's right up the street. Probably not, you know. Um, I don't know, but it has been going through my head a lot that I should move, because before was my life with my kid, and now I just really think that I should have a new life. But this house is so cool. It's on top of a hill. So driving up here, you see this, because I'm walking, this is probably going to be all shaky and really seriously make you feel sick. Sorry about that. But these lights are massive. They're like at least 6 inches long, the bulbs. I hate to imagine what they pay on their electric bill. But it's so cool. So here we go. This is something to look at. Is these Christmas lights. So actually, coming near this hill, they've done a lot of work. I think they're trying to widen the road. So they've taken down a lot of trees, which is really depressing because there are these massive ancient trees. I mean, we're talking like 80, 100 years old, easy. They were clearly planted because that used to be a thing, 100 years ago, that people would plant trees along their property and along their, like this. I don't know if you can see. You can't see anything. Let me see if I put the light on. You still can't see anything. Anyway, it's kind of still a thing that people would line their driveway with trees and line the edge of their property with trees. But these trees have been there for ages, and they knocked them all down, cut them all down. But now you can see the White Mountains, which are, 100 miles away. You're just driving around and boom, there's the mountains. I don't think that they're that far away. They're a good drive. They're a couple hours anyway. So, in addition, there's this house that's so awesome. They put on their Christmas lights. And again, because you can see, I don't know how far you can see. There's a pretty good distance that you can see these lights. So further than those lights down there, you can see these lights here on top of this hill. See, up here, and it looks like maybe they didn't put all the colors on them. Or maybe they just have gotten blown out. I'm sure they just didn't take them down yet, because it's a heck of a thing. They're definitely not all going. And then, I don't know if you can see how far. It's pretty far that you can see, like way over. Can you see those red lights? Okay, the lights that are blinking in the past, they don't even look red on here. That's about 8 miles away. So, at least that far, they can see these lights. Pretty cool. Anyway. Oh, and they have lights on their house too. I don't know if they're Christmas lights. I don't know what they are, but it's designed to basically cheer people up. It did a trick with me. I'm like, oh, look, lights. Too bad I'm not out driving. I would be able to see them, but I can't. So now I have to go collect my cats. How does this have anything to do with people with avoidant personality disorder? I don't know. I can tell you this. Made that series, whatever, on how to do mindfulness, because I've been talking about it forever. And I haven't really explained it. I was just like, go do it, look it up and do it. And I have a real problem with actually giving out information about how this, how to handle anything with psychological anything, because I don't have like any educational background. What I have is a lot of experience. A million years ago, I haven't checked in a while, but my very first video on this channel was about suicidal ideation. Very topical, very real in my life, but specifically about how it can be used as a maladaptive coping technique, and maybe even just a straight up coping technique in order to handle stress. Is to say, well, I could always do this, and knowing that you have an out and there's another option, somehow, I don't know how it works, gives you the strength to get through very bad things. And I made a whole video about it. Apparently I'm one of the first people that's ever talked about that, because it was for a while, I haven't looked it up in a long time, on the American Psychological Association website. That's why if you look at it, it's got all these hits. It's not because people are looking it up. It's not because it's the first video. It's because it was like officially out there as an example of, something that somebody could look at as, anyway, I don't know. But I was pretty flattered by that, to say the least. And freaked out by it, because I've gotten other situations where I'm absolutely disrespected, I suppose is a way. Like, for instance, example, my son, as you all know, because I say it 900 times, has autism. One of the tools that they use for kids with autism is something called social stories, which is literally like sort of a mapping out a list of instructions on how to handle social situations. So it's like, if somebody comes and wants to shake your hand, what do you do? What do you say? How do you interact with that person in a socially acceptable way? It's like, here's the list, here's the guidelines, here's the rules that you use. The problem with that is that it would be too specific. That it would be like this one perfect scenario when that would happen, that kids with autism would know exactly what to do, and, they'd be all set. But they couldn't really shift that in their minds because it's extremely black and white. And actually, it's one of the big things they're doing with therapy now. They never did it with my kid. I am still paying attention to this. It's sort of like schema therapy, which I talked about before, which is basically patterns. Like, if it's like this, then do this kind of thing. And instead of having, there it is again, an absolute set of rules, then find something similar. Do it in this pattern if you see something that follows this pattern. I mean, this is basic for most of the world. This is really hard for somebody with an absolute rules-driven, black and white, autistic outlook would have. I heard it doing that swinging thing and then it stopped. Cool. Bye, ghost. Enjoy the wind. Anyway, I know that makes me sound like an idiot. I don't care. It's one of those people with religion. I'm not religious at all. That's not totally obvious. Where they're like, better safe than sorry. Okay, well, better safe than sorry. If it's really a ghost, then I'd rather be the ghost friend than its enemy. Anyway, yeah. So, social stories with my kid. He was not really responding to it as well as they wanted because, again, he was too absolutely anal about does it follow this exact situation or not? I think I hear a cat. Well, they'll pop up at some point. I got 3 of them along the way I gotta collect. Anyway, so I came up with a variation of it. And it worked really well for him. And it worked really well for the other kids in his school. And I just started working on it. And I was like, hey, this is working for kids. Maybe I can, try and sell this. This could be a good thing. I mean, because, writing actual stories and stuff is sort of in my wheelhouse, So I was like, okay, well, it would be really selfish for me to keep this thing that's so effective to these kids that I know to myself. Let me try and see if I can get this out there. And I was completely... there's one of my boys. I don't think you can see him. Probably not. It's way too small. 2 of the boys. Anyway. So I tried to get a publishing deal for it, and it completely fell through. 1, 2, 3 of my boys. Because I didn't have the proper credentials. And they were like, okay, what you need to do is you need to find somebody with a PhD that we can put as the quote-unquote author of this book. You do all the work. We'll still put you as, the ghostwritten and also type person. But we need to, to get this published, we need to say that it's a PhD that's written it. And it's complete crap, so I dropped that. So, anyway, long story short, not. My therapist thinks that I should make videos about how DBT could apply to somebody with avoidant personality disorder. The way I did with the mindfulness videos. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting idea. Also incredibly difficult. I don't know. Maybe I'll work on it, maybe I won't. That I'm saying it out loud means that I'm edging toward the I will side of it. I don't know. So if that's the case, I'd make more videos. If I tried to teach a DBT course aimed for avoidant people, because everything about it would have to change. I mean, the entire point of it is that you are interacting with people in a way that's causing chaos and hurting other people. Well, if you're not interacting with people at all, then nothing in their set of instructions is going to... Can you see him coming? Nothing in what you're learning about is actually going to... Here's my boy. Apply. So it would take some work. Anyway, I'm going to cut this short because my little guy is tired and he needs to be carried home because he's running all over the place, but he really does only have 3 legs. So I'll end this, and that's what's going on, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.